ready for my close-up? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry, I'm like trying to hype myself up a lot because it's so cold outside. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, it feels like it's like 0 degrees. I'm sure it's an exaggeration, but like it's so cold. Like, and the thing is, what messes me up is that like everybody was like, oh my god, 1st of September, happy spring day. Where do you see spring, bro? Where? It is so cold in Pretoria that like I'm in a 2-piece like sweatsuit, which is like really a vibe. I've been in my blankets all day. I just wanted to like shoot this video quickly, and then I'm jumping back into my bed to finish reading The Black Flamingo, which I'm really liking so far. But yeah, okay guys, so today I just wanted to do my August wrap up. It's not that late. It's only like September, the beginning of September, first week, so I think I'm still on time to do my August wrap up. I managed to read quite a few books, I think 19 books in August, so that was a good one. But some of them, I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm just going to give you guys like the highlight reel. I think I have most of my physical copies and then 2 audiobooks that I listened to, and then I'll just like give you guys a rundown of what I liked, what I didn't like. So I'll break it up. So this video will be like, first I'll do the ones that I really loved, and then I'll do the ones that I liked, and then I'll do the last section will be like the 2 or 3 that I didn't really like, that I wouldn't recommend, just so that in case you don't really feel like listening to me talk about books that sucked, you can just like skip the end. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the ones that I really liked. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so the books that I really loved, or that I really liked, and it's like I had a really good month. I had quite a few 5-star reads, which doesn't happen that often, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so I'm going to start with the ones that I really like. So the first one that I read, or more accurately that I listened to, was Milkman by Anna Burns. Okay, so this book, I even spoke about it, I think, in another video or whatever. Very surprised that I love this book. So what happened was, I started Milkman last year, or I bought it last year when I was doing this whole thing where I was pretending to care about reading prizes, because it was nominated for the Man Booker Prize. I actually won the Man Booker Prize in 2018. So I ordered it because of that. Read 4 pages, couldn't even get past page 4 because like it's got these run-on sentences that are just so difficult to read. So someone was like to me, get the audiobook, and I was like, okay. I'm not really a huge fan of audiobooks, but okay, let me try that. Got the audiobook, listened to the audiobook on like 1.5 speed. Phenomenal. This book is a 5-star read for me, especially like there's something about the narrator who narrates it. It's like with an Irish accent, and like everything about this. So it's a Northern Irish story about this girl who's being stalked by this guy, this older man who's kind of like referred to as the Milkman, and he is basically like stalking her whole life. But in all of this is happening set against the backdrop of that period in Northern Irish history when they were having a lot of like drama with England. I love how I say like a full-on civil war was just like drama with England, but like, and everything about this, the characters, but the best thing is like the way that the story is told. It's just so funny. Like, I don't know if I was supposed to find this hilarious, but I just kept picturing Dairy Girls, that show on Netflix, and I just found everything hilarious. And I just think this book was phenomenal. But definitely, you have to listen to the audiobook. I would not recommend reading this book like physically, unless you're someone who can handle things like run-on sentences, which I am not. Otherwise, definitely audiobook is the way to go with this one. The second book that I loved, I finally read Kindred. Guys, I'm finally a person who's read Octavia Butler, and I just feel like I've accomplished something so phenomenal. This book tells a story of Dana and Rufus. So Dana is a woman who lives in the US in 1970 something, and Rufus is a white boy who grows into a white slave owner in the 1800s, I believe. And so she has this thing happen to her where their lives become intertwined, where whenever Rufus is in trouble, or whenever Rufus is almost going to die, she gets transported back from 1976 all the way back to 18 whatever, so that she can save his life. So it's just basically like it's like black fiction, I mean black sci-fi, and it's so good that like she writes the story in such a nuanced way. And like the character of Rufus is like, the way you follow his evolution from a boy to a man, and how you see how the environment and the environment of like slavery, and how the complete disregard for black bodies kind of influences him. Even though he has this black woman who's consistently saving his life, he still can't escape the kind of need to dominate and the need to look at everybody who is black as his possessions. This book is so nuanced, and there's so much there's so much to unpack. I would really recommend this book for a book club pick if you have a book club. There's so much to discuss in this book that, like, yeah, definitely 5-star. I can't wait to read more Octavia Butler. I'm gonna order Parable of the Sower once I no longer on a book buying ban, but I'm gonna order this one soon. Okay, next we have, oh, this was so good, guys. I finally read the Happily Ever After playbook. Guys, I don't understand people who don't like Abby Jimenez's writing style. I love The Friend Zone, but this one as well, like, it's so, you know when romance novels have like really gut-wrenching traumas that happen, but then they find the way back to the love. I love stories like that, because in this book, like, Sloane and what's his name again? It's Jason. What if Sloane and Jason, they're like together by like halfway in the book, but then they have to navigate this kind of relationship after her fiance dies, and also Jason is like a huge music superstar, and all the drama that comes with dating a celebrity. I really, really love this book, guys. It's like, it's romance, it's like pure romance, but it also has so much other stuff going on, and it's just so detailed, and I just obsessed. Love it. 110% recommend. The next one, guys, I finally read it because I managed to do my recreation. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it. All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. Also for me, a 5-star read. It's a great memoir. It's a great queer black boys memoir. And the thing about this book that I love most is that it gives you a different perspective on a queer black boy and his family, and how black families are capable of a unconditional love. Because I think some of the narratives around especially queer black children is that their experiences, it's painted with one brush that all black families are inherently homophobic and everybody has a horrifying experience with their family. Whereas George M. Johnson, his family was like a refuge for him. Like, there was understanding. Even his grandmothers and maybe his father, who maybe didn't 110% grasp all the queer stuff first off, there was a process of family learning that was always steeped in a deep kind of love that is just apparent on every single page in this book. So I really do recommend this book. It's a great memoir. It's pretty short, well written. It's not like one of those like gut-wrenching memoirs. It's light and a bit funny sometimes, and also life lessons, and he's dealing with some stuff, and it's just all around. And also like his relationship with his brother and his straight friends is just, yeah, I love this book. It's just, I highly recommend. Definitely read. And then, guys, these were so cute. Oh, guys, Hot Stuff. I finally read them. They're just adorable. I don't have anything else to say other than they really just warmed my heart. The weekend that I read them, I needed something light, and like, they were everything that you want them to be. It's like so cute and awkwardy and young, and like young love and finding yourself, and like, I'm obsessed. I can't wait to order the third one as soon as my book buying ban is over, because right now I can't buy any more books, but I definitely will once I get the chance. And then this is a 5-star read for me, or a 4.5, 5-star, that I'm very surprised that I loved. And that's When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir by Patrice Kahn-Cullors. I don't know what it is about this book. The way that Patrice, I think it's written by Patrice and Asha Bandele. I don't know what it is about the way this book is written, but it really just speaks so deeply to your soul. Like, it's so much deeper than I thought this memoir was going to be. And when I saw Black Lives Matter memoir, I thought it was just going to detail the actual Black Lives Matter movement, but Patrice goes so much deeper than that. It really, she gives you her own family history and highlights the ways in which, and you kind of get to see how Black Lives Matter is a movement that was born not of one single death or one single injustice, but of like decades and centuries of families being put through the ringer, Black families being put through the ringer. You know what I mean? She speaks about her brother Monty, who suffers from bipolar disorder, or I think schizophrenia, one of the two, and the way in which the state and the way in which society does not care for Black bodies in suffering like this, how he is repeatedly jailed, repeatedly beaten, repeatedly institutionalized, because his life is seen as so devalued, and how Patrice and her family fight for her brother, and it just makes you want to cry, honestly. Like, I love this book. 10 out of 10. Really, I really highly recommend this book. It's very, very good. Okay, so the other 5-star book that I read, which I actually listened to on audiobook, was Heavy by Kiesi Lemon. Guys, this is probably one of the best books I've read this year, or listened to, read, whatever. It is, oh guys, Heavy is so good. It's a memoir, and it's so raw and so honest and so vulnerable, and like it's so painful to read some of those sections, and it's just, oh my goodness, like I am so glad that I finally read this book. It is honestly one of the best memoirs I've ever read. It's called Heavy. I think it's called An American Memoir. And Kiesi Lemon is now a professor. He is a professor, I think, still. This Black, and it's kind of just like a coming of age, but also just kind of an illustration of what it is to be a Black man in America, and what it means to be Black in America, and how trauma lives in your body, and how your relationship with yourself and your body becomes so distorted in this environment that makes you feel like you are nothing at all times. And it's just, oh guys, it's so good. I would highly recommend Heavy. It's just probably one of the best books I've read this year, definitely. So I highly recommend that. Okay, so now we have the 2 books that I liked a lot, but they're just short of a 5-star, so like maybe 3.5, 4. They're still really good, but they were not like my top. And that is, first of all, this I did for book club, which is The Shadow King by Maza Mengiste. Top tier writing. Maza Mengiste is a phenomenal writer. That's not the problem. The only thing with this book is that I think the problem is that there's a disjuncture between the description and what actually the book is about. So I read that this was a book about women and a women in war and stuff like that. Yes, but also no, because I don't think it centers the female experience as much as what it was advertised to do. However, it is still a very, 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 very good book that details the Ethiopian-Italian War, which is something, or invasion, or attempted invasion is more accurate, which is something I think history tends to overlook, how Italy was also part of the whole colonial project. It's a great work of historical fiction, so I would actually recommend this. Just don't go into it thinking that it's going to be like, the part about the Shadow King and that whole phenomenon is a very small section of the book. The rest of it is like more or less like historical fiction. So if you go into it with that frame of mind, you'll probably really enjoy it. So this book was also really good. The next one, I did a whole vlog for this, so I'm not going to talk much about it, but Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Guys, I still don't know how I feel about Sarah J. Maas, because this book is not bad. It's just, you know what, all of this, there's like 300 pages, don't need to be here. I'm going to say that for the last time. All in all, loved Bryce, like Hunt Athala. I like most of the characters, interesting storyline, a little bit too much going on, but you know what, it's fine. I'm just interested to see what the sequel would look like, because they kind of wrap things up with a bow. So I'm trying to think what could possibly be the sequel. But other than that, I would recommend this if you like fantasy, if you like Sarah J. Maas already. It's not bad. But also, it's like 800 pages. So just like, be sure. There's other fantasy books that you could read that would probably give you a better experience. But this is a really long book. But anyway, I quite enjoyed it. So yeah. And then the last one is The Darkest Star by Jennifer L. Armentrout, or Armentrout. I still don't know how to say that. Guys, I don't know. Like, I thought I was gonna love this. I saw this on Simone and her books. I used to trust Simone's recommendations, and I didn't hate this book, but it also just wasn't that good for me. I'm interested by the, I don't know if it's because I haven't read the series that basically came before this, that kind of set the tone between the humans and the Luxon. So maybe I need to go back and read. Maybe that's why. But all in all, it was okay. I'm gonna get the second book because I actually do want to see what happens, but it wasn't my favorite fantasy series that I've ever read. I didn't really particularly like the female lead. What's her name? Evie. I really like Luke. But yeah, it's interesting, but I think I've caught it in the middle, so I need to maybe read the other books by the same author to get a better grasp of the world that they're talking about. Okay, it's just me featuring my rooibos tea. Guys, by the way, this is probably Jesus's favorite tea, so you know, if you've never had rooibos, I'm so sorry, you should probably try it. Okay, so the last two are books that I didn't like. The first one is, I'm really upset about it because I bought this book in hardback, which is upsetting me, but anyway, it is what it is. And that's Pudding by Julie Murphy. Okay, first of all, I haven't read Dumpling, so that's probably something I should have done first. But my problem with this book fundamentally is that I don't like, what's her name? The girl, Millie. I don't like her. I would have loved this book if it was focused on Callie alone, but then it wouldn't kind of make sense with the whole plus size protagonist. But like, I thought Callie Reyes was a really good character, and I was interested in her dynamic with her rich boyfriend and being popular, then you're not popular anymore, and then kind of her relationship with that guy, what's his name, Mitch. I think his name is Mitch, who sounds like a sweetheart. Like, I would have loved if this was just about Callie. Also, the plot was, I don't know. And I think I'm probably still going to get Dumpling because that plot sounds interesting, but didn't really love this. Already bought it in hardback, so I had to finish it. So I've learned my lesson now to be a little bit more discerning before I spend mad rack on something in hardback. And then the last one is Sorcery of Thorns, which I only just read like this weekend, this past weekend. Maybe I've uploaded my vlog already, probably, but I did a vlog on this one. Yeah, the premise was interesting, but it just wasn't that well executed for me. The story didn't grip me. I like Nathaniel. I think his name is Nathaniel. I like Silas. It's not that the characters, there's just something went wrong. I just can't put my finger on it because the premise of a book about books is usually a good time. And you know, the idea of like books as living beings and living things that kind of can turn evil or can be forces of good, and like sorcerers, it all sounds like a good idea, but then I just didn't really enjoy it. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say except that I just really didn't like it. So yeah, that's all. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of this video. Those were all the books that I've read this month. I think I read like 4 others, but most of them were just like romance novels that I read on my Kindle. Like I read In the Fix by Mary Calms. I read my first Rebecca Witherspoon, I think that's her name, book. I think it's called Rafe. And I also read something by Talia Hibbert, but not Take a Hint, Dani Brown, one of her books that I read on my Kindle, which is also pretty good. So yeah, more or less, I like to read romance just to kind of palate cleanse. But other than that, had a really good reading month. I'll probably be doing my September possibility pile in the next couple of days, so look out for that. I'm still trying to figure out what I feel like possibly reading. I've already started 2 books, so yeah, just wait for that, and then I'll put that video up pretty soon. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Just subscribed, and let me know in the comments which books you like, what you didn't like, what you're interested in reading. Yeah. So I hope everybody has a really good day. I'm about to jump back in bed because it's like 4 degrees outside and I'm done with sitting out of my blankets. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.